Welcome into the Mind of a Coach podcast. These are your hosts, Coach Nathan Moran and Coach Asa Duvall. Episode 25.
Quarter century, baby. 25. Here we go.
Wow. I mean, a whole quarter. That's pretty impressive right there. Asa, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good, dude. Live and kicking as always. Split the weekend. This weekend went 1-1. Wish we could have got that second one. That was a tough one. Kind of been like that. Kind of been like that all year. Up six with a minute and a half, and didn't make enough plays down the stretch. But shout out to Mark Freeman. He got a OVC Player of the Week this week. Actually, he had 22 and 13 assists on Thursday night, and then he was 1 point and 2 rebounds shy of a 30-point triple-double on Saturday. So he had a really great weekend. So I was, nice to split, but would have been nice to have two of them. So what about you, man? How'd y'all do this weekend?
Man, our guys played really good basketball this weekend.
Yeah.
And, I'm usually not one to say things like that, but man, they played really well. They played together. They took what we practiced and put it on the court. So, that's always great. But man, our really good players making really good plays makes coaches look really good. So yeah. Credit to those guys.
Y'all think y'all played better the first game or the second game?
Man, I mean,
just good all around both games.
We probably put it together like as a whole the second game, but I mean, even when they made runs, we just answered. So like they would cut it to 5 and then we'd just come right back out. So I mean, both games I was pretty happy with. We really shared the ball and we really guarded, and that's what we got to do.
Dude, season's coming to an end, man. I mean, I know we haven't played as many games this year as a normal year, but this is it. This is our last week, and we're done.
I know. We got 2 this weekend, and then tournament starts. The GSC tournament starts. So we'll either be a 1 or 2 seed in that, and then hopefully the NCAA tournament after that.
Now, y'all are playing people from the other side, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, but, good. Best of luck to y'all, dude. I'm gonna be watching for sure.
I appreciate it, Asa. So, little history in the NBA. What franchises? And I believe they are 11. There are 11.
Oh gosh.
What 11 franchises have never won an NBA championship?
Okay. Golly. Okay. Well, does Oklahoma City's never won one? Is that like? I don't think Seattle ever won one either, right?
I do not think so. I'll let you keep rolling.
Okay. Well, Charlotte hasn't won one.
Correct.
Have the Hawks won one? I don't think the Hawks have ever won an NBA championship, or at least not maybe.
I've got the Hawks have won one.
The Hawks do have one? Okay, all right.
Believe it or not, I do have that. They have one.
One Spurs, San Antonio. Warriors have one. I'm drawing. Oh, Memphis has never won one.
Correct.
Golly, Detroit's obviously won. They've got a couple. Clippers have never won one.
Correct.
What else?
All right. So you have gotten Clippers. You have gotten Charlotte. You said OKC, and I'll have to fact check you, but maybe I think the Supersonics might have won one.
Yeah, they may have gotten one.
I'm not sure.
Oh my goodness, man.
I'll count it for now, though.
All right, Miami obviously has one. Orlando, I don't think has Orlando won one. I don't think they've won one.
That's one.
Okay. I'm just running through the team. All right, can I look up? Who else?
All right.
Oh,
you've gotten OKC, Charlotte, Clippers, and Magic.
Have the Nets? Did the Nets ever win one?
Nope.
All right, Nets haven't won one.
17 left.
The Kings have never won one.
I have the Kings must have. That's
really?
Not on the list. Yeah.
What year was the this? I don't believe the Suns have won one.
Correct.
What am I at? I still got 6 left.
Mm-hmm. They didn't take it easy on you. 1951, the Sacramento Kings won a championship.
Oh, Okay. All right. Whatever.
They were known as the Rochester Royals of New York, though.
Okay. Goodness gracious, Asa. Let's see.
All
Let's
right, so
see.
you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope.
I got like
1,
5 or 6,
2,
don't I?
3, 4, 5 left. You have 5 left. You have
5
gotten
left.
OKC,
Okay.
Charlotte, Nets, Grizz, Clippers, Magic, Suns.
Okay. Hang on. Give me a few minutes. Sorry, listeners out there. I'm taking a while. Hang on, Nate. I'm getting this. Oh, the Wizards have never won one.
I have the Bullets have.
Oh, okay. All right. Whatever. Yeah, the Bullets. Was that the ABA or was that the NBA?
They have won an NBA championship. Here, let's check.
Oh, well, no. Have the Sixers, did they ever? Was
Yes,
that,
they
I know
have.
ABA, I think, would.
Yes, they have.
Oh, my, Asa, this is terrible. Timberwolves have never won one.
Correct.
The Nuggets have never won one.
Correct.
The Jazz never won, did they?
Correct.
And then
2 more.
the Blazers, did they ever win?
Yes, they have.
They got one? Hang on.
One
I'm
East,
right there.
one West team.
One East, one West team. Hang on, I'm right there. Pelicans have never won one.
Correct.
And the Bucks had one a while, right? With when Lou Alcindor, yeah.
And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem was Lou, yeah.
Syndrome.
The did the Pacers win? Did Reggie get one?
Bing, 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 bing.
All right.
Got him. You got him.
That was tough.
So, Asa, what do you have to get off your chest this week?
Nate, I say like 1 or 2 things a podcast that make me sound like a complete idiot. Now, I know Eli's listening to this right now, and he's like, well, yeah, Asa, you are a complete idiot. But remember I was talking about the Vandy, the scoreboard, the backstop last week, and we recorded on Tuesday night. On Wednesday, I'm watching Kentucky Vandy, and they got backstops.
I know.
I didn't know that. When did they get the backstops? The last time I was in there, they haven't had them forever. And then I go the next night after ranting about the stupid backstops, and then they got backstops at Vandy. So I say 1 or 2 things. Remember the thing I said to Drew a while back, and then the Coach King, the diction thing that I said. Like I say 1 or 2 things a podcast. This is completely just a whiff, a swing and a miss.
So you're getting off your chest yourself. You're getting yourself off your chest.
Yeah, man. I think myself has had enough of myself this week. So
that's funny.
But seriously, I couldn't believe it. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And it's not like I can go back and, redo it before we drop the podcast. So whatever. Thanks, Vandy, for making me look like an idiot yet again. So that's all I got, man. But I couldn't believe it. I was sitting there with my parents watching the game, and literally I was like, dadgummit, I just ranted about Vandy not having backstop.
Remember, I was like, I don't know. I really thought they did.
Yeah, I guess I missed that. I missed that. I missed the memo when Vandy got backstop. So
well, it is okay. It is okay. We forgive you. Everyone on here forgives you. But
yeah.
Asa, I'm really excited for our guest this week. You know him well. Stay tuned, everybody.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have assistant coach at Ohio University, Lee Martin, with us. Lee is from Mayberry, North Carolina, home of Andy Griffith, the Andy Griffith Show. Me and my dad used to watch that all the time growing up. Played a post-grad year at Hargrave Military Academy, went on to Catawba College, and after Catawba, he went to Hargrave as an assistant, became the head coach at Hargrave, and that was 16, 17?
Correct, 2017.
Yeah, 2017, and then last May or so, you got hired at Ohio University as an assistant. Man, how you doing today, man? Thank you for coming on.
I'm good, man. Where I'm sitting here, it kind of looks like I'm in the sky here, so I'm going to keep it up. There's like lighting in the back. It's pretty sweet, so I'm going to keep it like this.
Giving you a good glow. Hey, how's the transition to Division I been? Now that you're a full-time assistant coach, how's it been?
You know what? It's been great, man. It's still coaching really, really good players, obviously. But the cool part is now we've got freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So you've got some continuity on your roster. Yeah. At Hargrave, we've got brand new teams every single year. So it's a little more difficult to kind of build something. You build something annually there where we're, here we can build something for years, which is kind of neat.
Yeah. How was Hargrave when you were there compared to when I was there? Give us some stories. Tell us about. Well, actually, just what went into your decision to go to Hargrave first?
Oh man, Ace, it's very similar to yours, man. I mean, just thought I was a really good player. Wasn't really getting recruited, so a college coach mentioned Hargrave to me. Thought it would be a good option to take a postgraduate year. So I did it. And, fortunate enough, I did it. I was able to get a scholarship out of the deal and, really set up my college career. I feel like if I wouldn't have went there, I wouldn't have understood what a college program was like, what to expect, playing with really, really elite players and, going against other really good players too. So, I really think I give it credit to how my kind of playing career unfolded. And then, knowing what the place meant to me and knowing what it done for me and what it done for a lot of people like me, I wanted to go back and I wanted to kind of get into coaching. And was fortunate enough to have you in year one for me as the bottom assistant at 22 years old. Had no idea.
You were 22 then? You were 22 then?
22, Asa.
I didn't know that.
22 years old.
I did not know
you and Ace are about the same age then.
That's right, man.
I had no idea. So your coach at Hargrave, pretty well-known guy now, Kevin Keats, who's at NC State. Who'd you play with there?
So I played with a guy. I played with a lot of good players. Played with Freddie Riley, ended up going to UMass. Chris Braswell ended up going to UNC Charlotte. Ledrick Eccles ended up going to Oakland. Guy went to Navy and Alex Newsom. Probably the most famous guy is Luke Hancock. Which ended up playing at Louisville. Yep. And, he went to George Mason at a Hargrave and then ends up transferring to Louisville with Coach Keats. And ends up being the most outstanding player in the national championship, team, which is really, really neat. I think he's now – I still talk to him every now and then. He's now a commentator on the ACC network.
Really?
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he is.
So I got to ask, Coach, how are you staying afloat right now in the midst of COVID postponements?
Man, it's wild.
Y'all have had some cancellations, haven't y'all?
Yeah, we have.
4 in a row, right?
Yes. So our guys, they've done such a good job since June. We haven't had any positive tests. Our guys have really been doing an awesome job. And then we played at Central Michigan, and you know how this goes, man. We were playing the best basketball of our year, won 4 in a row, and we get back home, and a couple guys test positive. Then you start, doing contact tracing, this guy, that guy, back and forth, and you realize, you know what, we just got to shut the whole ship down. And 10-day pause, missed 4 games in 10 days. Have no idea how we're going to make them up. Have no idea if we're going to. We've got 9 guys this week, and we're going to play 3 games.
Wow.
So it should be interesting.
Hey, everybody's going through some sort of it, but you hate to hear it at the end of the season. That's like that's the one part of the season where you want to keep everything.
Oh, man. I know. It's almost like we wish we would have got it earlier.
Yes.
Wish our guys wouldn't have been as good as they are.
How was it to be the head coach at Hargrave? Having played there post grad year and being an assistant for a while under AW. How was it to be the head coach of a place like that? That means so much to you, and with the history from that school. How's that feel?
Yeah, man. Ace, it was a dream come true, honestly, man. I mean, just you know the place. I mean, you got to kind of live it to love it. It's not necessarily the most exciting place as a player. Being a military school, you got to get up in the morning, and I don't mean to give you flashbacks here, Asa, but get up in the morning. You got to wear a uniform. You got to march around. You got to do certain things that other places don't require. But when you go through that process, you realize, man, this is kind of, it helps me grow up. It helps me become a man. It helps me get prepared for life. And I wouldn't be on this Zoom with you right now if it wasn't for it, right?
Right. Exactly.
Which is kind of neat.
You keep going. My
Go
fault.
ahead.
I mean, no, I always found ways to like have fun. I mean, obviously, getting up, having to get dressed in 15 minutes and then marching to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like, and you had chores and stuff, and it was always a reason to complain. But I always tried to find like some fun with it. Becoming a platoon sergeant, things like that. There were ways to have fun if you just didn't sit there and feel sorry for yourself the whole time.
No doubt, man. And I'm sure without even asking you, Asa, but I already probably know, like, some of my closest friends were my teammates.
Yeah.
And I still talk to them this day. They were in my wedding. I love them to death. We still talk. We still cut up about the days at Hargrave and what we experienced together. You do create a brotherhood and a bond, right?
Certainly.
But, when Coach Hamilton left, I had no idea. I didn't know if I could get the job. I had no idea. And he ended up bringing me in one day. He actually took me to lunch. And he said, look, man, you've been here for 4 years. You've been by my side. You've grown, this and that. He just said, I'm going to really try to push to get you this job. And I was floored, man. I mean, again, there was way, way more qualified people, way, way more, people that forgot more about basketball than I ever knew. I was 26 years old. I had no business getting the job, just to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But I was so excited and knew I was going to treat it like I was coaching the Lakers, man.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I was able to get it, and I loved it, man. It was awesome. It was fun. When you become a head coach, I don't know if you want to get into that, but that's a whole different realm.
I was going to ask you kind of like, I said it one time, I asked Garrett, what was like the biggest oh shit moment, becoming a head coach?
Man, Asa, there's so many. Let me back up. Well, I mean, when you're the head coach, you think about so many things and you worry about so many things that you don't worry about as an assistant. I remember probably the very first one I had was, are we in shape? Are we conditioned enough? Like if we're dragging our tongues running down the floor, that's on me, right? Like if my team's not in shape, that we don't have a strength coach in prep school, right? Like that's on me for not getting my guys ready. I didn't think about that as an assistant, right? Like, we need to run them, all this stuff, but it never occurred to me that their conditioning kind of fell on me. One thing that's interesting, man, is obviously when you become a head coach, you've got to cultivate the relationship with your players, right? You've got to be somebody that they love and trust, and it takes time and takes time to get that right. But you do. You got to cultivate a relationship with your administration and the community and stuff like that. One thing that I didn't think about, and it just completely went right over my head, is, man, you got to do the same with your staff.
All right.
You have to put them in the right situation to be successful. You've got to motivate them.
What does that look like as a coach? What does that look like as a coach? I'm sure I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sure.
No. I'm glad you did. But like, for example, Ace, like, let's say you're an assistant coach. For me, like, I've got to understand the way you tick. Right. I've got to understand what motivates you. I got to understand when Ace is having a bad day, because at the end of the day, I'm a small piece of this puzzle. And your assistants are a bigger piece of the puzzle. And you've got to make sure they are, wherever that ship wants to go, you've got to make sure they're on the right direction too. Because if everybody's pulling in a different direction, it's not going to work. You can't do everything by yourself.
Right.
You can't. You can't. You got to make sure those assistant coaches know that, and they're fighting for you for everything, just as long as you are.
Right.
So.
The cool thing about Hargrave that not a lot of people realize, yes, it is, it's kind of a pit stop for players to maybe get to that next level, but it also is for coaches. Now you're at Ohio. We talked about Keats, who was at Louisville. Now he's a head coach at NC State. You got Mike Allen, who's with AW, Steve Lepore, who's with AW. So it's kind of a place for coaches too, to kind of take that next step and get them to the next level. And a lot of people don't really realize that. So how did you get into Ohio University? How did that whole thing transpire? Was it in the works for a while? Talk to us about that.
So if we're going to name drop everybody, I'm going to name drop everybody here. We just can't leave them all out. So the head coach at UNC Wilmington is a Hargrave grad, played and coached there. Obviously, Coach Keats. The head coach at James Madison was coached at Hargrave, and then A.W. Hamilton is our 4 Division I head coaches right now. We've got assistant coaches, obviously the EKU guys, 3 guys on staff at Ohio.
There's 3 of you? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, wow. 3 of us. There's a guy at Youngstown State. There's a guy at Campbell. We've got
There's a lot.
Oh, they're everywhere, man. They're everywhere. But think about it. When you're an assistant coach at Hargrave, people really don't give a shit about you, but they care about your players, right? So they're going to get to know you.
Right.
But yeah, so it's funny. My head coach now is an awesome dude, and his name's Jeff Bowles. And he is not necessarily in the Hargrave tree, but he is the closest friend you could have in the Hargrave tree. Okay. He has been recruiting Hargrave for 25 years. Wow. And he actually coached AW at Marshall.
Oh, did he?
Oh, okay. With Coach Keats.
No.
Yes.
Keats was at Marshall?
Coach Bowles and Coach Keats were assistants when AW was their point guard at Marshall.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. So, and then Coach Keats actually went back to Hargrave.
Okay.
And AW went to go work for him. All right. Long story short, AW gets the job. Coach Bowles is an assistant coach at Ohio State. And, he was a lead recruiter on D'Angelo Russell. He ends up sending us a couple players at Hargrave. Then he gets the head coaching job at Stony Brook. Okay. Hires a Hargrave guy in Lamar Thornton.
Okay.
Then ends up hiring another Hargrave guy in Jake Ness. Long story short, obviously I know him for a long time. They get the Ohio job, and they offered me the job the first year 2. I told him I wasn't ready to leave. I still wanted to be in the prep school world. And then this summer they hit me again. I was like, look, we're not asking you again. If you want to jump on board here, you got to jump on now. And so, my wife and I talked about it, and you guys both know this, but it's all about the people you're with and what you're doing. And I knew that I was with great people that I trust, that were friends, not just colleagues. And so we decided to come. It's been an awesome experience. Still living the dream, man. I have no business being a Division I assistant, but I am.
I don't know about that.
Coach, I know it's a little early for when I usually ask it, but I usually do 3 keys every single week. And so I try to ask people, whoever's on our guests. It used to be me, and now I get to ask people smarter than I. So you are that person this week. So 3 keys to the game of basketball, but mine are going to be that I want to learn from you are, what are the 3 keys to being a successful prep school head coach?
Yeah, great question, man. One thing you have to do is you got to be, and I'm going to state some obvious things, and I'll go into detail here, but one thing you have to do is be a great evaluator. A lot of times in prep school, you have to be able to take a guy that doesn't necessarily have any stars by their name, or you get so many emails and calls, and you guys know this, like the highlight clips. Like if I could go in my email now,
it's all the time.
There's so many.
I have 20 DMs I still need to answer or open.
There you go. Right? It's nuts. But I'll tell you this, man. Don't leave any stone unturned. Because I promise you, yes, it's annoying. It is so hard to make sure you have time to look through everything and comb through everything. But I'm telling you now, some of the best players I ever had at Hargrave as an assistant and as a head coach were guys that we found that nobody else wanted.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. We used to joke like they're either coming to Hargrave or going nowhere because they didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's real, man. Like, if you look at it, obviously you're going to get the 4 and 5 star guys. There are a lot of times good players, but some of the best players we've had just didn't have anything. And a lot of times those guys are hungry, and those guys are a little bit, they have humility to them. They haven't had people tell them how good they are their whole life. A lot of those guys, they just keep getting better and better and better and better, and their best basketball is ahead of them. A lot of times what you see, in my opinion, is that sophomore that's, been told how good he is since he's in the 8th grade, and he's a 5-star, and he's kind of plateaued, man. Like, who he is now is who he's going to be as a junior in college. And that's a little scary when you start evaluating guys. You want guys that, he's not quite there yet, but every time I see that dude, he gets better. I mean, he keeps getting better and better and better. So, he's the trendy thing. Like, if you follow the stock market, it's a trendy thing, right? It's man, this stock, it's going somewhere. Every time I look at it, the shares get bigger and better and better. So at some point, if I buy in now, I'm going to reap the benefits in 2 years. Right. So I think you got to do that. Don't mean to go off on a tangent, man, but I think evaluating is key. I think you become too, on the back end, you understand what college coaches want. I really do think by being at prep school, you see hundreds of guys come to your gym every year. You see how they react with your players. You see their pitch, if you will. You see how they carry themselves. You see how they present themselves to their parents or their AAU coaches or whatever. And then most importantly, guys, you see how your players talk about them once they leave. Like, for example, when people were recruiting Asa didn't like us, or, a coach came in, said his pitch to Asa. And Asa, afterwards, I was like, how'd you like that? Well, I didn't like when he said this. Or, man, I loved when he said this. Or, I'm a little nervous when he mentioned that. Like, that stuff right there is invaluable. That you learn about.
That's a great point, because I've never thought of it like that at all.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen everyone's best shot. And how they say it and why they say it and when they say it. It's all about timing. And, college coaches will come in and they'd say certain things, and it's like, wow, that was next level thinking. And it's really cool to pick people's brains. And on that, my third point is you're talking to so many college coaches, especially a place like Hargrave. And again, I'm biased, but it's the best prep school in the country. I know there's others that say they're right there with us. But no one has their tradition.
Ain't got nothing on Hargrave.
No, they really don't, Asa. You know that too. But, you get to talk to coaches on a different level, and you can ask them questions and pick their brains. And, everyone does it a little bit differently. And it's so cool to just kind of say, Coach, okay, I'll take this. What's the top 3 things that you do as a college coach? And he'll sit there and he'll rattle them off, and you can have real relationships with those guys that are really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I learned so much on the recruiting front as far as being a better coach. When you talk to these guys.
That's pretty interesting. I do have to go back on number 1 though. So tell me a little bit about Jason Preston, because I mean, obviously we know everything about him, but everything you described with being able to evaluate, don't turn down an email or a phone call or et cetera. It seems to be like this kid might be your kind of guy. So I'm just.
So do you guys know his story?
Hang on. Everything that ESPN is talking about.
What are we talking about?
Our point guard at Ohio.
Oh, okay. All right. My fault. Keep going. My bad.
Do you know the story, Asa?
No, I don't.
Man, this is crazy. All right. I'll be very brief with it because, you can obviously find it. But so our point guard here, his senior year of high school, he averaged 2 points a game. And he was about 6'1", and he was about $140. Averaged 2 points a game in Orlando, Florida. Decided to go, got accepted as a regular student to go to UCF, okay? Enrolled at UCF and was planning on majoring in journalism and playing intramurals. That was what his plan was going to be. One of his boys decided that he was going to go to this prep school, okay, named Believe Prep. Asa, you might not remember. We actually played them.
I remember Believe.
Okay, so one of his boys was like, I'm going to Believe Prep. If you still want to maybe chase this dream, you can go with me. So Jason was like, you know what? Why not? Let me do it. Like, I can roll over my acceptance to UCF. I can go next year. They'll accept me again. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Went to Believe Prep in Tennessee. All right, guys. He played on the B team at Believe Prep, okay?
Yeah.
Apparently, there was a game or two where they put him on the A team, and he didn't
Mhm.
play. He sat the bench. So he went to the coach, was like, Coach, can you just put me on the B team all year? Right?
That's awesome.
So during that year, he grew. You know, he got to about 6'3", and he gained some weight. But he played throughout the year. On a bus ride back from their last game, him and his boy were in the van, and they asked the coach for all the game clips of that year, and they made him a highlight clip. It was like a 1:30 highlight clip. You can still find it, actually, if you Google his name. And because he was like, I'm not getting recruited. Nobody wants me. Like, nobody's really seen me. So he started DMing coaches, just like we talked about. Just himself. Hey, coach, I'm Jason Preston. You know, I'm a postgraduate player at Believe Prep. Please check out my highlights. All the things sometimes you dismiss as a coach. And he had 2 schools reaching back. Okay, it was obviously Ohio and Longwood University. And Ohio, one of the assistants at Ohio checked his stuff out, thought he could be a good player, got him on the phone, got some more film of him, really started evaluating him, offered him a scholarship, offered him their last scholarship that spring. So the 13th scholarship, I believe. Again, you listen to the story, you're like, okay, is he filling a roster spot? Like, do they just need a guard? Whatever. But they end up taking him. At this time, guys, he's about 6'4", and he's about 180 pounds. All right. Fast forward now. I mean, today I talked to a scout from the Lakers. You know, he's talking to countless number of people. They've got him anywhere from the 20th pick to like the 50th pick, depending on who you listen to, in the next NBA draft. He's one of the best point guards in the country, no doubt. He can make every NBA pass you need to make. His vision is incredible. Him coming off a ball screen is elite. He thinks the game on a different level. Like, we'll be watching film, guys, and he'll see things that the coaches don't see.
Wow.
And he'll stop the film and say, hold on. Right here, you know, we've got to make sure we do blah, 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 da, 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 whatever. And I'm sitting there as a coach like, holy cow. Like, this dude's like, yes, he is exactly right. Yes, he's right. But, yeah, like, he's a junior. He's got a really good chance of going to the NBA this year. If not, he'll come back for his senior year and go his following year.
Is he in some mock drafts right now?
No doubt. Yeah. Depending on when you look at, he's late first round, early second round.
Well, I did not know that story at all, Nate. I didn't know that at all.
And you know, the best part is
at the beginning of the year,
man. He's a normal dude.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Really?
That's awesome.
Like, he's awesome. He's just a normal dude. Like, he goes back to his apartment. He chills. You know, he watches games. You know, he is. There's nothing about him that screams diva. Not one thing, which is awesome.
That is so cool. That is such a cool story. Look, hey,
he almost was just going to be like a regular student at UCF.
Yeah. And now he's in mock drafts. That's
insane. Now he's gonna make millions.
That post grad year, dude, can be so. I mean, it's literally life changing for so many people. It's
no doubt.
It's life changing. What's your pitch as a head coach to a kid to try to get them to come to Hargrave?
Man, it's a great question. To my point, you know, we don't have beaches. we don't even have girls. You got to get up in the morning.
We couldn't even one morning. I guess the girls' prep school down the street. They had to come and take the SAT or ACT or whatever, and like we couldn't even look at, like, the TAC officers were like, "Hey, don't look at them." Like, we couldn't even look at them.
Didn't even want to throw that bait out there, did they?
All right, exactly.
But nah, man, like, you've got to take the right dude. You got to take the dude that understands where it's going to get you. Like, for example, like David West, man, I keep going back to him because he's one of the most famous alums we've had at Hargrave, NBA champion, 10 plus years in the NBA. He always says, man, Hargrave is not necessarily where you want to be. Right. I understand that, but it's always where you want to be from. And there's a sense of pride to that. There really is. And, they're a really good team this year. Their point guard's going to Georgetown. Their 3-man's going to Georgia Tech. Their 5-man's going to Arizona State. I think they've got probably 8 or 9 Division I players. Every single player on the team is going to sign a full scholarship, Division I or Division II. They're undefeated right now. They're doing a really, really good job.
Yeah. And then Zach McDaniel, who was just with he's the assistant now out there, isn't he? Yeah.
He's back, man. He's back living in the barracks.
Oh my!
He's doing it, man.
Yeah, so that's what they don't tell you either. As an assistant at Hargrave, you did. I guess Coach Lepore and Coach Allen didn't, but you were living in the barracks with us, right across the room, right across the hallway.
I was doing it all. That's one thing too, man. And I know you two are in it now, but when I first got into coaching, before I got into coaching, I was like, all right, man, like I'll probably get in the office about 10:30, right?
Yeah.
I might go over some practice plan, go have some lunch, maybe get some shots up with some guys, and then we'll go to practice and I'll call it a day.
All right.
Man, boy, I was wrong. Especially at Hargrave with no SID, no trainer, no strength coach, no bus driver, no managers. Like, you're doing it all, man. You're mopping the floor, you're doing the laundry, you're running drills by yourself, you're doing the scouting reports, you're recruiting. Like, that's one good thing about it too, is you get to touch every single aspect of a program.
You're getting up at 4 a.m. to make sure me and Terrell are running our suicides for Terrell being late. You remember that?
That was me, man. That was all me.
Oh my gosh, man! What a
So what is your favorite part? So you kind of hinted at a lot of the stuff that you had to do that maybe you don't have to do as much anymore. So what is your favorite part about making the jump to Division I?
Yeah. You know what? Like, it's just a higher level of basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is neat. Now, don't get me wrong. My heart's always going to be a Hargrave, but it is neat to wake up every morning and think about basketball. Mm-hmm. And, you've got the resources, you've got the tools. I'm working for a dude that man, he can run circles around me, knowing X's and O's, and he's been in college basketball for 25 years at every level. So learn from somebody like that. It's really neat. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't spoiled though. It's neat to get on a chartered plane and fly to your games. Little things like that is a cool experience. But at the core, it's the same, man. It's the exact same thing we do at Hargrave. You get a bunch of good dudes that are hungry with a chip on their shoulder that want to win. Don't really care who gets the credit, and that's what's really special.
That's awesome. Hey, and you're in my wife's homeland. My wife is from Akron, Ohio. So you're right.
Nice.
Yeah, right up in your parts right now.
They got Akron. They got Akron tomorrow night, Nate.
I know. I saw it. The Zips.
Yep.
Yeah, they're a good team, man. They're a really good team.
I don't have a dog in a fight, so I'm going for you guys.
Good, man. We're gonna need it.
There was a high school game in the district tournament that just got delayed because of a gas leak. How about that?
Man.
Oh, wow.
Not because COVID or snow has done enough already. You gotta have a gas leak.
Hey, that's what. Hey, were you with JJ Manzier?
I was not.
You were not? Okay. He was before you, probably.
A year after me.
Yeah,
JJ was a year after me.
Gotcha.
Now, that being said, a guy I work with now, our ops guy here, played with JJ Man at Hargrave.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
You didn't play with anybody, but you're not coaching with anybody that you play with right now, right?
I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
Got you. Hey, do you mind doing some rapid fire questions with us real quick?
No, let's do it.
All right, man. Here we go. All right. You ever been kicked out of a game?
Yes.
For what?
Come on, man. I was a head coach. I mean, you get 2 T's. You got to be sent, man. You go back to the showers.
Just one game, or just once or twice?
Just one game, man. And my president was there. Think about that.
Was Broom there? It was Broom?
No, it was our new president.
Okay. Got you.
It was. I mean, again.
Did you deserve it?
It was poorly officiated. We ended up getting beat. I told the referee what I thought. He didn't like it. He turned around. I might have made another comment. He might have heard something from the stands. Who knows? But he turned around and got me. And I was so nervous because our president saw me. And then the day after, he asked me to come into his office, and I was like, "Oh my gosh! Like, what is? Oh my gosh!" And he sat me down. He said, "Lee, I love the passion you coach with." And he was like, "I think we got screwed at that game." And I completely was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Like, yeah, it was, nerve wracking for a minute, but it ended up being kind of funny.
That's great. Yeah. Hey, you didn't lose many games. You about one. I looked your record up today. You were about 112 and 13 or something.
Yeah. We were 112 and I think we were 13. I think you're exactly right.
Something like that. Yeah. Ridiculous win percentage, like 90%. Okay. Foul up 3, or let it play out at the end of a game.
You know what, man? I've got to know my team.
Yeah.
And I know that's a cop-out answer, right? I know you want to answer.
Yeah.
So if I'm at Hargrave, I'm playing that thing out, man.
Yeah.
Because I've got a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds that I'm not sure is going to box out on the free throw line.
Right.
Now, if at Ohio, I'm probably fouling, man, because I trust our guys are going to stick to their assignments and do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I get really, really nervous. I've lost a game before not boxing out at the foul line.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's the absolute worst. Leave your best player in with 2 fouls in the first half, or not?
Yes.
Go for the tie, go for the win.
Especially, let me go back to that.
Yeah.
Definitely down the stretch in the first half, I'm going offense for defense.
Okay.
But I'm playing him. Got you.
Go for the tie, go for the win.
At home, go for the tie. On the road, I'm going for that win.
Didn't Markel say that the other day, Nate? At home, going for the tie? Well, all right, explain yourself. Explain that one. Why at home go for the tie, not the win?
Well, if I'm at home, man, and I think we're going to have the advantage going into overtime, right? Yeah. Our goals, our rims, our gym, our crowd, especially now if we've been leading the whole game and they just stormed back with a 20-0 run, I might be a little nervous about that. But, I mean, I think at home you're a little more comfortable. You can kind of settle down and reset. Mm-hmm. On the road with their crowd, you put a lot of pressure on the referees to make the right call too. Like I might just go for the win.
Suits or sweats on the sidelines?
Man, I'm all polos, man. I love these. I love this pandemic polo deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Early morning practice or evening or night practice?
Early morning, man. Let's get that thing going.
I like
Let's get it. Let's get it in. Let's have a great day. As long as they don't intermingle with class, let's get it done. And then, afternoon, we can do what we got to do.
Yep. If you could not coach basketball or be in the world of sports, what would you do?
I'd be a teacher, man. I think I'd be in the classroom. I do. That's my favorite part is I think I really enjoy, call me old school, but I enjoy practice just as much as I enjoy games. Mm-hmm. I enjoy growing and developing our system and watching the guys learn and grow. And I think you get the same thing as in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. You play golf?
I'm not very good, but I go out there. Yeah.
Can you break 100 in golf?
I can.
Yeah. You know your handicap?
No, I'm not good enough to have a handicap.
I'm dying to get on the golf course. Oh my gosh. Should every team make the conference tourney?
You know what? I think so. Because I do. You're all in the league. Now make the conference tourney. I don't mind that some of the top seeds getting buys. I think you earn that and deserve that. But if you're in a league, you're supposed to have pride in your league and support your league. Mm-hmm. I think it's really neat for everybody to get a chance to win a conference championship.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then
what do you guys think on that one?
I think no.
Okay, tell me why.
I think no, just because it the regular season it puts that much more pressure game in and game out. I would say no right now.
Okay.
I hear your argument for that. I like the stories of like Austin Peay winning the OVC championship at the 11th seed or 8th seed or whatever they were. And obviously they still don't let everybody in. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm with you, Coach Martin. I think I would go everybody.
Well, too, like you have Cinderellas in the NCAA tournament. You can also, to your point, you have Cinderellas in the conference tournament.
Yes,
too.
absolutely.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's been a time where it was like a 12-20 team or something all of a sudden made the NCAA tournament because they won like 4 games in a conference.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Liberty did that. I think the year before Braxton was supposed to go there, Nate. I think they were like 13-13 and ran off a few games in the conference tournament, but they were like 500 team in the NCAA tournament. Last one, LeBron.
Jordan.
Okay.
Jordan. I know Asa, you're a huge LeBron guy, and I respect you for it because you've been like that for years. But man, especially, you know what solidified it for me is watching The Last Dance. I was like, man, it's Jordan. It is Jordan.
That was a great documentary. Great show. Man, hey, well, tell the listeners where can they find you on Instagram or Twitter?
You can find me on Instagram, Coach Lee Martin, I believe is what my handle is. And you know, again, I'm all Ohio Bobcats right now, and that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
But you know, Instagram, I don't really do a lot of Instagram. But that's it, man.
Cool, man.
I appreciate you guys.
You can find us on, you can find Nate on Twitter and Instagram at Nate5_Moran. You can find myself on Instagram at the Ace of Spades with a Z on the end. You can find us at Mind of a Coach 1 on Twitter and at Mind of a Coach on Instagram. Coach Martin, best of luck to you and Ohio University for the rest of the season. Good luck in your conference tournament. Hopefully y'all got some postseason games. Man, appreciate you coming on tonight, this evening, and talking to us for a little bit. Hopefully the viewers enjoyed it. And again, good luck to you, Coach, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you, Ace and Nate. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.